Hey, how's it going? I'm back with another tutorial for filmophone.cz. Today we will have a look at this effect. So as you can see, it's actually creating some 3D environment using just 2D still. In this case, it's some old photograph. This is called camera mapping, and I will explain what camera mapping is for those who don't know. So have a look. Just imagine you are in a cinema. So this is the projector. The projector is actually some light source, and this is the film frame which is projected on some screen. So the light goes through this frame, and the frame is projected on this flat area. But imagine that this screen is not perfectly flat, but it can look like, for example, this. Imagine what happens. Just imagine how the projected frame will look like. The projected frame will be distorted and probably will not look very nice. But just imagine that this screen distortion fits somehow the environment which is stored on this frame. For example, in our case, we have some water plane, which probably is flat, and then we have some background, which is some meadow going slightly up, and then there is some forest and sky. But let's divide this frame just into two parts, like this water plane, and let's call this background. And let's imagine that our screen looks like the environment. So this is the water plane, and this is the background. Maybe this is not a very nice drawing, but you get the idea. What we have to do is recreate this geometry. So let's have a look. We will create one plane for the water and another plane for the background. We have to mask out these guys. So let's go to Photoshop first and let's do the masking. So here we are in Photoshop. I'm using this clone tool. You can see I'm having just one layer, which is this layer, and I will duplicate this layer. Let's call it, for example, original, and I will switch it off, and I'm using now just this one layer, and I need to get rid of these guys. So as I said, I'm using this stamp clone tool, or clone stamp tool. How is it called? Clone stamp tool, fine. And how it works, actually, while pressing Alt and holding, you can select the area. For example, I will choose this border between the water and the grass and click on it. Then you move to that place you want to be replaced, and as you can see, it shows you how it will look like. And then simply drag the mouse button, and that's all. And you continue like this. When you want to make the select area larger, just press Alt and right mouse button, and as you can see, while dragging it gets large or it gets smaller. Okay, now I skip the part and I'll be back when the work is done, because I think it's not very interesting watch me doing this. Important is that you need to remove all the reflection, because we need just the clean plate. Okay, so the work is done. As you can see, it looks pretty nice. That's exactly what we want. Original and after. Yes, it's okay. So let's save it as PSD file and let's move to After Effects. I will delete all in here and let's import our PSD file, which is this one. Import kind. So let's import as composition, editable layer style. That's fine. Okay. And what it does, it imports the Photoshop composition, which consists of these two layers, which is our photo, which is our clean plate, and original picture. Great, that's exactly what we want. Okay, now let's change our composition settings. So hit Ctrl K and let's do 1280 to 720. Duration maybe 10 seconds long, and we want 24 frames per second, because this is the frame rate which I'm capturing this video with. So hit OK. Fine. Now let's scale these two layers down. So select both of them, right click, transform, fit to comp with, and here we are. So as I said, now we need to make two planes. One is for water plane and one is for the background. So let's do it. So create layer, new, solid, and let's call it water, and the color should be or must be white. Great. Let's watch our picture, this one. So we have this light, so we have to create light. We have to create this film frame and these two planes. So let's go back. So this will be our frame. So let's call it frame by hitting enter. Frame. Now we have to create the light. So let's create new light. Layer, new light. Point light can be point light, doesn't matter. Color white, intensity 100, cast shadows on. Hit OK. So we have our light, we have our frame, and now we have to create a camera as well. Layer, new camera. Let's do 35mm, hit OK. So once more, this is the light. It is the place where the camera should be as well. This camera will help us to match our geometry with this shot. I will show you right now. Let's apply a grid effect to the water. So go to Effect Controls, right click. I think it should be in Generate, Grid. Fine. Press F4 to be able to switch it to 3D. So now the plane is 3D. As you can see, it gets gray in here. That's because of the light. So let's switch off the light off for a moment. Now select this rotation tool and rotate in X-axis in to 90 degrees. If you are not sure, just hit shift and it snaps to exact angle. So this is our water plane, and we need the water plane match this shot. So what we have to do, it's very important. Now this camera has some position and rotation parameters. So hit P to reveal the position, and hit P for this light, and hit P for this frame. We need to make this frame 3D as well. Fine. And now it is important because we need to move frame and light to exact position as camera is. So just click on position, hit Ctrl C to copy it, click on position in here, Ctrl V. So as you can see, it has the same values now. Frame, let's do the same for frame as well. So it disappears because now it's in the camera position and we can't see it. But we have original, so let's use the original one. And now we want to parent these two to camera. So just select both of them, take this pick whip and drag to camera. So now you can see they are parented to camera, and whatever we do with camera, it moves with it. Okay. So go to this icon, click on it, and now try to match our water plane. While hitting C, you see the tools are changing. So you can use some orbit tool or rotation tool, some zooming in, zooming out, stuff like that, and you just try to get the similar angle as it was shot with. By hitting V, you just go back to selection tool and you can adjust this parameters. What is important, you need to match this line, and while moving in y-axis, you should have the feeling you are moving it on this water plane. Okay, so scale it up, and let's say we have our water plane. Maybe a little bit in here. Fine, that's fine. Now let's copy this water plane, Ctrl D, and call it background, which is this part, as I said. Take rotation tool and rotate, for example, something like this. Now go to front view. No, sorry, to left view. And as you can see, we are creating similar shape as it was in this picture. So water plane background, water plane background. Now it can be difficult to move it in this direction because one axis goes like this, the second axis goes like this, but you can click on this world axis mode, and as you can see it now, it's very easy to do it. Okay, I will I will move it like so. And let's have a look to active camera, how it looks like. Wow, I think it looks quite okay. I think this will do our work. Fine, that's fine. So we have our geometry. I know it's a little bit messy, but believe me that this is okay. Now we can delete this grid effect from both of these layers. And unparent these two layers. So select both of them, go to this tab and choose none. Great. Now the original image we will switch off for a moment, and light we will switch on. Now you can see our geometry lit by this light. Let's have a look to left view. So this is our geometry. Water background. This is our camera, and this is our frame. I will go to top view as well. So as you can see, light and the frame and the camera, they are in the same position, but as you remember, we need this frame to be a little bit further. So let's do it. Go to active camera, go to frame, hit P, and slightly move this parameter until it appears. We need to scale it down, so hit S and scale it down. Something like this. I'm holding shift and it keeps it aspect ratio. So that's all. Now it is done. So now we need to do some adjustment. Go to frame, hit AA. So cast shadows only. It means that it is not lit by the light, but it casts shadows. Light transmission must be set to 100% because we want our light rays to go through this frame. Okay, that's it. And finally, we need to set up these two solids. So hit AA. Accept shadows must be on. Accept lights must be off. And actually, that's it. Now, the frame is projected on our geometry, on those two planes. I will show you. Now, let's create some new object, new null object, and parent our camera to this object, but make the object 3D, sorry, and parent camera to it. Now, when you move, you can see what we have. I'm moving with the null object only. We have this geometry. These are our planes, and this area is just projection of that frame. So now when I go in to fill the frame, I can move. Hopefully you can see it. I can move in that frame. I can move and it looks okay. It's a little bit blurred, but that's because of the composition settings. Just hit Ctrl K, go to Advanced, and it's important in options to set the shadow map resolution to, let's say, 4000 maximum. And now we can have really nice result. Maybe I need to scale this layer out, but the main work is done. Okay, so now let's create some camera movement. So hit P to reveal the position parameters and set the keyframe at the beginning. Go to the end. Everything is white. That's because of length of these two layers. We need to extend them and move the null object, let's say somewhere around here, and maybe let's move it not so far. Yeah, it looks like this background needs to be adjusted a little bit. Go to left view again and change the angle, hitting R, something like this, for example. Yes, that's better. Yes, that's better. Okay, now we need to add our guys. So we have this original image, solo it, and use this pen tool. Now we need to mask them out. So this will be a little bit boring. So again, I will mask them out and I will pause the video and I will be back when it's finished. Okay, so the masking is done. By hitting this this icon, you can hide your mask. That's what I want. Let's hit MM and let's set mask feather to, let's say, 2, and maybe expansion 1.5, for example. Great. Now it's important to make this layer 3D as well. Great. Unsolo the layer and you can see they are too dark. That's because of the light. Just select your layer, hit AA, set accept lights off and accept shadows off as well. Fine. Nice. Let's move it to position which we like. I think should be somewhere in here. Let's scale them up. And as you can see, they should touch the water. I'm watching this place. So something like this. And rotate them to face the camera. Great. So as you can see, this is our effect. One more thing we have to do is the reflection. I'm using a great preset from Andrew Kramer's site Video Copilot. I will show you it is, just go to videocopilot.net, presets, and you can see this VC Reflect. It is called VC Reflect. View tutorial, and there should be some download link, or yeah, these project files. So let's apply this effect. So I will write VC Reflect and apply it on this layer. Move it up, and now you can see that you can't see anything. And that is because the reflection goes actually through this water plane. What you have to do is actually pre-compose this composition, but it's important to duplicate null object and camera to have the same movement. So hit Ctrl D. Now select original, because this is the layer with these guys, and go to layer, pre-compose, move all attributes, and hit OK. Now, as you can see, we have our reflection visible. Go in it, in this pre-composition, and let's set up this reflection. So be sure the reflection touches the image. Blend style set to behind original. Yeah, we want something like this. Okay, reflection distance maybe 24, let's say 30, for example. Reflection fall off we can leave as it is. Opacity, we need to lower the opacity for sure, so let's say 50. Blur type directional should be okay. Blur amount, try 5. Blur offset 0, fall of 5, yeah, should be okay. We can watch it, how it looks. I think it looks okay. So as you can see, it stays in place. We can see the reflection, and everything is moving perfectly. Now we have a problem while changing this animation. For example, I'm hitting U to reveal the keyframes. For example, when I move it somewhere in here, it doesn't work well. You see, it's not working anymore because the pre-composition has its own camera. So what we can do, just drag this to this right side, for example, and make some expression. So hit U to reveal the position, and first delete all the keyframes by hitting the stopwatch, and now hit Alt and hit the stopwatch again. Take this pick whip. I'm sorry, first I need to reveal the position parameters in here, so hit P. Again, Alt position, pick whip, and hit position. Hit enter, you can close this composition. And now let's move it anywhere, and it stays because the camera in this pre-composition updates automatically, and it takes informations from this composition. So now you can make any change and it will be updated. Well, I think that's all. Of course, we can do some color correction, but it's not included in this tutorial because it's up to you. I think I have used some warming filter on some curves. I added some text in here. So you just write your text, feel more fun. You can make it 3D, hit AA, accept shadows off, accept lights off, and we have our text. Make it bigger, move it somewhere where you like it, and that's it. So as you can see, this was really easy tutorial. I hope you can find it useful. If yes, let me know. If no, let me know as well. I would appreciate it. And stay tuned for another tutorial. So thanks for watching. This was tutorial for filmophone.cz and this was camera mapping tutorial. Bye.